What is up, y'all? It's your girl Nick Robinson back at it again with another review. So this time we are reviewing the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16, episode 15. It's called Chapter 3 Rebirth. So here we are rounding up this trip that they've been on in Grenada. It's been some ups and downs or whatever, but here we see where after the whole Shamea breakdown with what was going on with Shiloh, the ladies decide to have fun and we see the evidence of the morning after the whole thing. Drew and Angela are discussing it and talking about how they finally see like the friend group moving in a different direction, actually having fun together. And, they were just really happy that it seemed to be a place where they wanted to be this one time when they're all together, right? What a girl's trip is supposed to be, basically. But here we also see where the breakdown of Kelli and Brit is starting to show to the other girls in the group. They are pretty much discussing the fact that they're not really seeing those two ladies interact with each other. We see where, Porsha, Cynthia, and Phaedra or basically talking about the night before as well. Phaedra, I don't know what it is with Phaedra and Angela, but she shades the woman again, saying that she's like a math teacher that's strict. I mean, like, I guess she's trying to say that Angela just will not, like, get loose with them. Let me say this. Everybody's idea of fun isn't the same. And Angela, she's probably not going to be doing some of the things that, Phaedra would do, for example. First of all, Angela is married. She does respect her marriage, even though I don't feel she gets the respect that she is doing her marriage, but she still respects her marriage and her husband. And, she's just not going to be, twerking and all of that stuff. That's fine. I mean, like, everybody's not going to act the same. I'm not here to shame anybody for twerking or for not twerking. I mean, like, it's just not what she's going to do, and that's okay. But Phaedra, as we can see, sometimes I kind of forget how old Phaedra is because she acts way younger than she actually is. Phaedra has this youthfulness that's about 20 years younger than what she really is. And I guess if she's dating someone that much younger than her, then she would need an exuberance of youth. That's all I'm saying. So, moving on. They was talking about the Shamea and Brit fight and how, Brit was like pressed about, somebody shading her or whatever. And it's just like, they pretty much are like, they don't know where to go with Brit at this point. They pretty much like, girl, she here, but okay, whatever. We're just gonna see how she intends to play it. Basically, is what I'm getting from the conversation. They also talked about Brit and Kelli and how Kelli was actually not even standing up for Brit in the back and forth between Brit and Shamea. Normally, like, they were recalling when Cynthia had her event and Brit got into it with Angela, they were saying how Brit and Kelli were kind of like ganging up on Angela, saying they little whatever they were saying. But this time, Kelli actually spoke out against Brit. So they are also noticing the breakdown in communication. So, it's kind of like, I like seeing Cynthia, Porsha, and Phaedra get together. It feels familiar to us, maybe because they are, cast from another era in time with housewives. So I always like when they get together. And then Porsha, girl, she one of those friends where you can't tell her nothing or let her know nothing because she just gonna put it out there. We didn't need to know about Cynthia's, what you call it. I mean, if you saw it, you know what I'm talking about, girl. We ain't need to know that. Like, come on. She put it all out there. I would have been so embarrassed. Like, and then my question was, how did she even know? I mean, is that something y'all discussed or what? I don't know. Those women are crazy. So anyway, moving on. We now see the topic of conversation amongst the ladies, Brit and Kelli. They are talking. And, Brit is trying to tell Kelli, I don't feel the best friend behavior from you, basically. I don't know what happened. Here's what I gather. So when Kelli was talking in confessional, because she doesn't seem to really, in the scene that we see her and Brit in, talk about whatever her breakdown is with Brit, right? But in the confessional, Kelli was talking about how she, you know, allowed her glam squad to be shared with Brit until Brit finds her own. She said Brit had fallen on hard times, so she just kind of like shared her glam squad with, you know, Brit. And it's kind of like she felt like Brit was trying to go behind her back and recruit them, I guess, up out from under her, because she said she had a meeting with her whole team behind her back at her home. It's interesting to me how, you know, you are in a group of ladies that you're trying to get to know and be a part of a show with, and you haven't invited them to your house, but then you invite Kelli's glam squad to your house for what? I mean, because it's kind of like, I don't know if Kelli was like sponsoring whatever styles they were doing for Brit or whatever. I don't know. Like, they didn't get into the specifics of it to that degree. But clearly, once again, we see that these ladies are living a lifestyle that a lot of us don't really know, and I don't know like what the proper etiquette is when it comes to something like this. From what I can tell, if somebody is your friend and they spot you their styling team until you get your own, it's not proper etiquette to, I guess, get styled by them or meet with them without the other person being there, basically. Because we see what Phaedra is like. She heard Kelli saying to the stylist, you know, you over here with me or you can go, basically. So if I'm a stylist and I've been long term with somebody who I had a problem getting my money out of and who I built a rapport with, I'm going to go where my bag is, okay? So I guess maybe that's what Brit was saying when she was like, you know, don't make it a lesson in front of everybody, you know, tell me, you know, talk to me or whatever. So I don't know. We see where later on in the episode, Shamea and Kelli show more evidence of their being closer by coming down like in the same pattern and everything of bathing suit when they met out at the pool and was grilling and everything. So we see, you know, the friendship forging and forming between Shamea and Kelli around the planning and execution of this trip. So it's obvious that Kelli is further distancing herself from Brit because it was her and Brit that was coming looking like the Bobbsey twins in pink that time when they were at whatever event they were at, and Porsha pointed that out. So yeah, they was at the pool chilling and everything. What I loved about that scene was you know, they were just hanging out, having a good time. The good vibes carried over from the night before into the afternoon. They, you know, had an impromptu photo shoot with Shamea. You know, at this point, she still didn't have her bag with her own clothes. So we see Porsha just really being the best friend that we expected her to be all season to Shamea by allowing her to wear her bathing suit. She gave her an impromptu photo shoot with her enormous hat that was just fabulous. It's fabulous to me because it's just something that you wouldn't normally see. It's not something that you can like go to the mall and just buy. I don't know what Porsha got that big ass hat from, but I just felt like they were just trying to up Shamea to make her feel good and give her the break she needs from just a lot that's going on in her life. And so I love to see that. I loved how, you know, Cynthia put on her modeling director's hat and like directed the shoot and everything. And hell, I want to see the photos. I gotta go out there and see, can I find them? But yeah, I love to see that energy. Like, that's what we want to see. We want to see y'all being fabulous and doing stuff that we wouldn't do on the norm. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not regular to have like this whole thing going on like what they had going on. So I love to see it. Anyway, as they are gathering at the pool and everything like that, you know, Phaedra comes down in this very, you know, slinky, sexy type of get up or whatever. And the Minister of Tourism comes. And once again, they're clawing over him because he's another nice looking man. You know, Phaedra then wrapped herself all around him, and she was saying he smelled good and everything. And she was saying that the men there have a way about them that's just, you know, different or whatever than what we are used to in the States. So, he was welcoming them to Grenada as a whole, and then getting them ready for the Jab Jab, which is a festival that they have there. Basically, it is celebrating independence and emancipation from slavery in their part of the world. And so they took something that was meant for bad for their people and turned it around for the good in the form of this festival. And they, you know, get oiled up in this black oil, and everybody is, it's like an all day starting at 5 a.m. thing until I guess the next day maybe. So but the ladies, they arranged to go at a specific time so that they were not out there like all day or whatever and all night, because they just don't have that kind of time, of course. So Shamea, you know, said that she called whoever she needed to call or whatever to set that up. As we can see, she's the one that kind of is making stuff happen for the group when it comes to a lot of the different things that they're doing, which I love to see. It somebody got to be the leader, somebody got to take the reins and be like, okay, this is what we're gonna do, okay, so let me make that sure that that goes the way it needs to go. So once again, Shamea comes in with that energy and is like, you know, doing what she needs to do. So okay, you know, we see a conversation between Drew and Kelli where they have a lot more in common than they realized initially. They have the same exact marriage anniversary. They were talking about their respective soon to be ex-husbands and the process of them trying to get divorced from them. In the process, Kelli's soon to be ex had changed attorneys like 6 times. Ralph at this point had changed attorneys like 3 times. I mean, like, they were talking about the similarities that they have in their lives and everything like that. Of course, they both have the situation with trying to get children situated in all this mess. You know, the men are acting irregular, if you will, in the dynamic, you know. So they were like, wow, you know, I really have somebody that's going through this at the same time with me and going through the same exact thing. Like with Porsha, of course, she going through a divorce too, but, you know, her man was sequestered by ICE, and at this point he's now been sent away, but she didn't have to deal with some of the things that they are having to deal with. And as far as the kid situation goes, of course, PJ had gotten to know Simon, but I mean, Dennis is her father. So there's that. I mean, that it kind of cuts off at that point as far as the similarities with Porsha's divorce, right? So it was good to see Drew not in a confrontation for once. You know what I'm saying? And just really seeming to be authentic, I think. So that was good to see for a change. Okay. So, yeah. Kelli is talking about the fact that she is on this vacation, but she's still having to talk to her attorney about, you know, whatever's going to be happening in the week coming up. So, yeah, we see where she goes off to handle that. And, you know, we move on to the ladies going to the Jab Jab Festival. So finally, Shamea on the last freaking day basically gets her bag, and she can wear what she wants to wear to the Jab Jab. And from what I saw, because you're going to be covered in oil for majority of your body, you wear really slinky I mean, they look like they had on lingerie basically. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, they went like that. They got the oil poured on them. There was a lot of dancing and everything. Of course, the men was all over Porsha and Phaedra. Child, who wouldn't be, basically, because you know, they the ones with the bodies. They the bodies of the group. You know, Shamea got body too, but I mean, they got more. And so this guy, he was like all over them, you know. And Phaedra was playing, saying, "Oh, we all pregnant now," you know. So anyways, they obviously had a good time. They was, because they were already told in advance that it's a dance party basically, and so you gotta, you know, it's a high energy dancing, Of course, there was drinking and things of that nature. So Kelli had on this big horn bustier, because the festival is like horns is a theme as well. So she had horns on her bustier or whatever, and they was like, "Girl, this is giving stay away." They was like, "You single now," and you can tell like Kelli, at this point had almost been married 10 years. I think her 10 years was coming up or had passed or something. And so she's for a long time just been a married woman, and they like, "Girl, you gotta make sure that whatever sickness you are sending out does not stay away." So we see her in this place where she's no longer with her ex-husband, but still doing things as if she's still connected. So that's the thing too. Like, people don't understand, just because you're divorcing doesn't mean that you just automatically turn everything off. It doesn't work that way. I wish it did, because it would make it easier, honestly, but it doesn't work that way. You can't just turn your feelings off. And if somebody says that they can't, I don't think they were there in the beginning. I mean, or they just fronting real big and faking it till they make it, until they feel the way they saying. So there's that. The next morning, Brit says that she scrubbed Phaedra down or whatever. Child, whatever. They a mess. They're very comfortable with each other at this point, basically. And, getting the oil off was extremely hard. We saw evidence of oil all over the place. It was black, looked like tar oil. So, of course, that was hard to get off. Don't know if that's something that I would want to do because of that. I have very sensitive skin, so I don't know, but I'm glad they had a good time. Porsha said that she needed this trip, of course, because of whatever she's been going through. That I think she had a cease and desist from Simon. That's why she can't really talk about it. She can't film at the house and all of this stuff. Kelli was saying that the crystal that she brought on the trip with her broke. And when she looked it up, it means a symbolization of a relationship ending. And so she takes that to mean, her marriage, as she ends that, it's a new beginning. And, basically we see the episode wraps up, and it's evidence of a rebirth, if you will, because the ladies seem to be in a better place with each other. They seem to be, getting along for 2 days in a row. So that's really good. But then we see coming up, honey, it all seemed like when they come back to the city, it shifts again, because we see where Kelli is not divorced like she thought she'd be, and her ex-husband was put in jail. And like I said in a couple of videos back, whenever you have a civil dispute, which a divorce is civil, if there is a criminal component added to it, the criminal component takes precedence over the civil. So now that he's in jail for whatever he's done, that has to be worked through first before they get back to the civil. I don't understand men like that. I mean, I don't know who filed for divorce or whatever, but the divorce is on the table. And it seems like to me, since you're saying, because she at one point earlier in the season was saying how he was saying she was a bad wife and this and the other. If she's such a bad wife, if you don't want her, if all these things that you're saying is true, let her go. Just move forward with whatever y'all need to do, and let this go. Okay, let it go. But we see that that's not happening. She tells the ladies that she and Brit have not talked since the trip. Not sure how much time has passed between the trip and when she's saying that, but it's obvious that it's not like them to be that way. This is when Brit was talking about text messages that she saw or whatever when she was talking to Porsha. I don't know if she's talking about text messages that she saw as it pertains to Kelli or Shamea. I don't know. We'll have to see what's coming up. And then, Phaedra brings up Charles and how he's cheating on Angela, and how this information came from some guy. So as we can see, it's all cascading fast. But what do you guys think? I mean, I think that I don't know how many more episodes are coming up. I look to see. I mean, because we are on episode 15 in this season. And I'm thinking, how much longer are they going to stretch this? Okay, because at this point, we see where they have already done the reunion. So that means they're coming toward the end of the season. But I'm hoping they don't go past 3 more episodes. In my opinion, I think that if they go past 3, they're really stretching it, because at that point it will be 18 episodes, and it's like I don't know what else they'll fill it with, because I feel like a lot of it is being pieced together anyway. We see where it's a lot of it, it feels like they grasping for things to even put in these episodes, honestly. So, but y'all tell me what y'all think. You know what I'm saying? Like, comment, subscribe, share, all those good things. I really do appreciate it, y'all. And I will see y'all in the next one. Talk to you later. Bye.